We are live. Okay. Hey, I am hopefully going to be on here and answer some questions if you guys have uh, anything to ask about my latest decision that I have decided to step away from Natiq as a non-exclusive content creator, and it's not just for boats, but potentially other products, dealerships, locations, things, experiences. Like if you know of something that you think I should check out, feel free to tag those companies, email me with different ideas, different ways you can do that. So Caleb Royhans, what's up, homie? Any brands you're looking at to review? Yes, I don't know which ones are going to be like my favorite. And somebody was just recently asking, like, what's your maybe it was you, Baba Dean, Bada Bean, who is asking, like, are you looking forward to any? I don't know. I don't know what's out there. I'm not exactly sure. So we'll see. And what are you planning on getting on all these boats? You know, Clark, VIP, good to see you, man. I always appreciate you jumping in early in the videos. I don't know. Hopefully sooner than later. It's cold here, like no joke, cold. I'll throw a wetsuit on, but we'll see. I've already got conversations going, and it could be soon, but we'll have to see. But I am getting ready to travel too. I'll be at the Salt Lake City Boat Show, the Spokane Boat Show. Here are the dates. January 24th in the evening, Spokane Boat Show, January 24th, 25th, 26th. And I'll be at the Salt Lake City Boat Show, January 29th in the afternoon. No, sorry, that's the 30th, January 30th in the afternoon, kind of evening, because it starts later that day, afternoon, evening of Friday, the 30th, and Saturday, Sunday. Also going to get up on the mountain somewhere. So Caleb, coaching at OWC. I will no longer be coaching at OWC in the standard that I've been doing it. But maybe there's some opportunity that we do some kind of different events and things like that. And of course, I'll be taking cable apps there. JB, what's up? JB O'Neill, what's up, homie? Always good to see you. Do you have one signing for 25 years or multiple? Did you have one signing over 25 years? No. Clark, so I had definitely, it was normally like a 2, maybe a 3-year contract. And that's generally how it's going to go for most contracts with athletes. And Ryan Nelson, excited. What's up, Kane? Good to see you on here. Eric B. and Greg Albers. I'm excited to see as well. I'm not sure what's exactly going to happen. Clark, I don't know about the Toronto Boat Show. Been a few years since I've been up there. But if they want to reach out, those guys know how they can get a hold of me. And I don't know. I think I'm already booked on that weekend, actually. Cold weather, bro. No practice this weekend. Pro Trader Mike. Yeah, it's pretty cold here. Yeah, Ryan, it'll be good to see you in Utah as well. And man, you're making some beautiful stuff, some beautiful woodworking, Ryan. And 99Z28. I took my G23 back yesterday. I do not have it here any longer. I do not have a boat at my dock. So I might, borrow some people's boats. We'll see if I need to get out on the water. But like I said, I'm getting ready to travel. I remember the back of the early wakeboard mag. They'd highlight crappy boats and how it's still fun to ride. It's still fun to wakeboard. This could be a throwback. Honestly, like I remember that. Like I love seeing just some dudes out in like a center console tied low and just riding around. Like they're making it happen. That is awesome. And if those guys, their goal is to get up into the latest and greatest, awesome. But if they're like, look, we're getting out, yes, I love that. And Rusty, yeah, we haven't been hanging out too much these days because we haven't done any trips. But he's going to be in Salt Lake as well. Jamie, I am going to be staying with Hyperlight. Yes, I will be there. Been with them for 30 years. And yes, so Hyperlight, Jet Pilot. Those are the companies that I've been with since 95 and 96. Natiq was 99. But if you're just tuning in, I have decided to step away from Natiq as an exclusive content creator. So that means that I can go out and look at any type of thing that you can hook a rope up to, boat, PWC, fishing, but whatever it is. My goal is to um, find out if the claims that the companies are making, in some sense, but here's why, because the salesman, a lot of times they're going to tell you what they want you to know, but there's the things you're like, well, but can I really wakeboard behind this boat? Can I really slalom ski behind this boat? Can I really surf behind this boat? And I want to give you that non-biased opinion. Um, and I want to do it in an honest and kind way. And also potentially work with the companies and be like, hey, if you did this, maybe it could work out better or whatever it is. I just want to take the years that I've been on the water, been on the water for 40 years. Wow, old fart. But I want to take the years that I've been out on the water and put it into content creation so that then you have the opportunity to know, like, what am I buying? This is a lot of money. Even if it's $25,000, if that's what the boat you're getting, that's a lot of money for you. Um, but some boats now, the tower costs more than $25,000. And we look at that and we go, who can pay for that? Some people absolutely can. And I see it happen all the time at boat shows. I am not trying to not review those boats. I think that's great. I will still absolutely check those out because those work for some people. In the same way that some people are going to look at high-end cars, but not everybody can afford that. So previously, I was in a position where I was like, this is what I think you should get in. And Nautique makes amazing boats. And it will be different going from those boats and looking at other things. It will potentially affect like how I see them. But I tell you what I grew up behind, um, it wasn't that. And like I rode a lot behind a 15 horsepower Mercury, grab the thing and get going. Like that's what me and my buddy Jeff would do all around Lake St. Louis. And I know how to have fun with that thing. So um, it's anything and everything. So let me get into so Humpified. Um, I did not get a new sponsor. I decided to walk away from an exclusive boat deal with Natiq. So I'm no longer working directly with Natiq. I'm not going to another company. I do not want to go to another company. The reason I'm doing that is so that I can create unbiased opinions, unbiased reviews, not opinions, unbiased reviews of different boats, tow crafts, products, whatever it is. The only things that I'm under contract is my boards, and I really like them. And if I didn't, they would let me change it. We're talking about a shape change, but it's nothing coming up in the near future. And my life jackets with Jet Pilot, and I'm very happy with those. So, but what happened was the boats got very expensive, and that's not for everyone. And I love showcasing those things, and it's good for my brand, like to be like connected with such a successful and one of the best boats out there. But not everybody can afford that, and I know that. And when people come up and they're like, "Well, I can't, afford that thing," I'm like, "Well, let me show you an option. I couldn't show options before. I want to now show you options. That's what this is about." Joel, am I foiling more than wakeboarding these days? I was, but then recently I've been getting on my wakeboard a lot more. And here's my stats: 19 miles an hour. What? I used to wakeboard at 25 and then down to 22 and a half behind the G. And lately behind it, I was riding 19. And if I went behind my neighbor's older boat, same thing, 19, like getting up around 20 miles an hour, the water gets so much harder and it has so much more impact that if things go wrong, it really hurts. And even when they go right, when you're riding at that faster speed up in the 22 and a half, 23, 24 mile an hour, the water hits hard. Um, and it is fun to ride like that sometimes. But I find myself riding slower, shorter line, 60 feet. So here's my stats: 60 feet, 19 and a half miles an hour. It's going to change depending on the boat. And if it's a big, heavy boat, like a 7,000-pound boat, zero ballast. So if Mastercraft offers a deal, do you stay independent? Yep, I stay independent. I mean, there's a number, right? But that's not going to get there. Like to me, like the value is going to come from being non-exclusive. Um, that's what I want to do. You get to keep your G23. If not, I can help take it off you for a minute. Hands off for me, Adam. I already dropped it off back at Natiq yesterday. Um, I have not heard about the bigger than 150, the Big Mur. I haven't heard about that yet. Um, and so, Clark, I appreciate you loving what I'm doing. Jerry Sather, what's up, homie? Jonathan Herbster, yep. It was one of the last lesson. Jerry Sather, good to see you. It's been a bit. I'm not going to be at the Minnesota Boat Show, but I will be at the Spokane Boat Show, and I will be at the Salt Lake City Boat Show, and I will be sitting at Natiq booths. But that's not like, wait, I'm confused. No, I could go if any boat company, Supra, Centurion, Taiga, if they hired me, I will go there and I will answer questions and meet people and try to point them in the right direction. It's just at Nautique, I know the most about that line. So, and I already committed to going to those shows. I was like, hey, if you guys want me to still come, I said, yeah, we want you to go. So I'm going. But other boat companies, other products, whatever, they could hire me if we want to go and meet people and answer questions. Happy to. I just love being honest. So your knowledge and expertise, being able to test anything you want, only see your channel growing more. I hope so. I know I'll be watching. PS coming to Nashville Boat Show. I didn't get asked for that one. Joaquin Ortiz, what's up? Good to see you, Juan. And we always talk about you, homie. Yeah. So yeah, Juan Ortiz, amazing horse show jumper, and his coaching brain. We align so much alike, and it's awesome how we can share our coaching theories because my wife and my middle daughter love to ride horses, and how we kind of swap concepts. That's awesome. Love doing that, homie. Receive contract offers from any other companies. So Cooper Dean, I'm not asking for offers. I'm not looking for offers from other companies. What I'm looking for is if it would be something where it is they hire me to create content about their boat to then put out through my channels. And the review of a boat of, say, this boat company, if they hired me, I would create an experience of what is it like inside the boat. How easy is it to learn the interface of the screen and all of the different technologies? Because some boats you're like, I don't get it. Especially when my wife was hopping boat, she's like, is everything ready to go? I was like, yeah, if you want to change the speed, it's pretty easy. Like Nautique's interface is pretty good. And I've gotten into some boats, I'm like, okay, this is taking me a minute, but it's just a different language. So interface, storage, comfort, durability, fit and finish, ballast systems, tower heights, different things, like just to find out what is it actually like. Because when the salesman is there, they're generally going to tell you the things that they want you to know, but I want to tell you all the things you need to know. So that's my goal. Alligator Film, what's up, Martin? Yep. And yes, I love that you took the ride on that board. And Paul George, yes, I don't know if I could say that boats are overpriced. They're expensive. I don't know what it costs because I would hope that they're doing their best to that everyone makes the right amount of money, and that's what I want to do. I want to make the right amount of money for what I am providing, and so that played a role in my decision. And so to boats overpriced, I don't know. They're expensive, yes. They're very high end boats are that way. Hola, Hernan Emiliosi from Argentina. Hola, amigo. When will I be in California next? I'm not sure. I'm booking my calendar now. So here's a couple things. If you want to connect with me, you can go to my website, shaunmurray.com. And I would hear in the edit, I'd be like, but we're not doing that now. Go to contact. If you want to reach out about a product or something that you're promoting, you can do that. People here, maybe coaching is what you want to do. You can go to my website, go to shaunmurray.com. Up at the top, it'll say coach. And if you guys want to look at the details there, and if you want to take it a step further and reach out to me to see if I can fit you into the calendar, go for it. I love coaching people. And so as these requests are coming in, we're trying to start looking at geographically where does it make sense so that I can move around with efficiency, hit the most amount of people, bring the most amount of smiles. It's so that's what I'm looking for. I don't know, Cooper Dean, or is that Dean Cooper? When I will be back out in California, bring board stock back to NorCal. Hey, I tell you what, Lake Shasta, should we do it? Should we do like board stock? I tell you what, maybe not like how it used to be. That got wild. I'm a dad. I got 3 daughters, so probably not like old school board stock. Maybe like family board stock, family friendly board stock. Who's in for that? Um, Ryan Nelson, ever look at making your own snowboard? No, I have not. We can talk about that at the boat show. Wake man, let's see. Let's see how this goes. I don't know. I'm hoping that this is something that's a good decision so far. It's seeming to be that way, and great response so far. Um, and yeah, so yeah, I'm seeing people talk about this with guitars, etc. And so we'll see. John Lipscomb, what is the last of your boat show dates? I don't know, but so far what I have on the calendar is Spokane, January 24th, 25th, 26th. I'll be there in the evening of the 24th. And then I'll be at the Salt Lake Boat Show, January 30th in the evening, afternoon 31st, all day February 1st and 2nd. So maybe see you guys there. BT, what's up, homie? Yeah, trying to make the right move, and honestly, just follow the lead that like God has taken me down. Did I think I'd be wakeboarding professionally for 30 years? Not, never crossed my mind. So this isn't something that like was like a plan of like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But as I've started to like go down the road, I'm seeing that the boat prices were getting pretty uncomfortable for me. Um, and I love presenting them, and it absolutely works. Like you put some people into them, it totally makes sense for them. It's going to continue to make sense for them, but not everybody. And so it just got uncomfortable for me not to have another option for people. So that is my goal. BT, that's what I'm looking to do. I know there's other price point boats from other companies or, different, there's different things out there. So I'm looking forward to seeing that from top to bottom, and really find out like, are the sales pitch claims true? Like that's what I want to find out. Like, tell me what are you telling the people? All right, let me go find out. uh, Pierce Johnson, I appreciate you stopping by, and Clark. Have you ever been to Muskoka? I don't think so. Wait, is that where no, that's where they did yes. We did the what was the event up there? I got a trophy up there somewhere. Yeah, I did. I put all my trophies away. There's only a couple out there. Most of them are in the attic. But yes, I've been up there. Yes. What was that called? Somebody come in here with the it was a great event. Was it board stock? Wake stock. Wake stock. Thank you, Muskoka. Yes, I've been up there. Proper boat driving, guest etiquette. Yes, I have done some. I have different ideas, but it's tough to. Yeah, there's different things. Like yes, I have thought about doing like boat etiquette videos. Absolutely. Want to see this? Here, I was showing Instagram. Here's some of these. If you want to see those, let me know. Here are my videos, my video ideas. Okay. Every time I get an idea. So people write in with questions and comments. And I'll go, oh, that's a good idea. So here, let's see. Somebody's asking about how to pump a foil. So I write a quick little note. That's scribble. How to pump a foil and how I'm going to shoot it. So I've got a big stack of these. Okay, those are all note cards. So I have a lot of different ideas and things that I want to create on helping you guys with more fun out on the water, being safe, low risk, not beating yourself up, getting a fun workout. But then on top of it, like let's start with the product reviews. So let's get you into the right gear. And then once you're out there, let's go use it. So that's my goal. Um, yeah, sometimes you can afford the expensive boat, you just can't justify it. Jonathan, heard. It will be very interesting to see how this new direction works out for you. 92 ski Nati SN. Is that a super air or is that SN? Oh yeah, I mean you got that thing signed by Ralph Malone saying God bless. That's cool. Lifetime shreds. Hey, I'll try to do more streams. Ruck, Parks, Chad Sharp, and Shane. We were at Jake Plott's wedding, and we started talking about the Murr show. And it seems like maybe the Murr show should come back. I don't know who remembers that one. Yeah, Paul George, it's right. Like his comment on here is Natiq and Mastercraft are hands down the best, but plenty of half price options. Yeah, I'm really interested to find out. Like I've not looked at boat prices. People start asking me about the price of the boat and the sale and everything. I'm like, that's not my job. I could never tell anyone how much this costs. I'm like, go talk to the salesman. So I don't know what boats cost. So that's going to be part of my direction is like, I'm going to go start finding out what does this thing cost and what do they have to do to get into it. And so yes, I'm going to find out. Are the bigger boat companies talking about pricing people out of the sport at all? Good hull, basic ballast, basic service system, and cruise control is all you really need to ride. In some sense, some companies are going after that. But some are saying, look, how nice can we make it? They're buying them. Let's make it nice. And so it just depends on the angle. So Matt Jarabek, what boat will be on your lift this year? I don't know. I'm not signing a deal with a company. I'm not looking for a contract with a company. I am actually looking for any boat company who wants to have one here temporarily. And I can create content around it with reviews and how-tos, or I can travel to where they are and create the content. The nice thing is if something is here, if they leave it here for a while, it's going to organically just show up. I'll get to use it more. So that's to be determined. So we'll see. Yes, Lake LKW boats are taking a turn. General aviation has taken prices have increased dramatically. They have. A lot of those things have really gotten very expensive, but they've also gotten really nice. Like you compare a boat that's 20 years old to what's inside a newer one. There's a lot more going on. Is the price justified? I don't know. I don't know what those things cost. I don't know the back end of the company. That's not my job to know that kind of stuff. I can just go and say, all right, here, like what I want to do is say, okay, here's what this boat costs. How easy is it to make it work for the things that they say it works, or what do I think it's good for? That's what I'm looking forward to, is just finding out what do I think, how well does it work? Lifetime Shred, he says it's too bad in a way that Heyday had to come out with the crazy design. I think the spirit was in the right place. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I'm curious to see that boat, and I haven't seen the latest, so I can't really speak to it, but I know what you're talking about. Think electric will be a viable option for the future. I would think so, but that's a whole different conversation because most electricity that are running these things is going to be created from some sort of, yeah, that's a whole nother discussion. But let me tell you, I rode behind the electric Natiq that they had, and it was awesome. So, I mean, it's not like any of these boats are super eco-friendly, but neither is the airplanes we fly in or the Amazon shipping that we get. Like, if people start pointing fingers like that, oh man, I don't want to go down that road. I rode behind the electric boat and it was awesome 2 times. It was so weird to be out there and it was silent. So here was one thing that kind of threw me off is when you're in a boat, you don't realize how many auditory cues you operate around. Number one, when you're in the boat, if you hear the boat start, you either sit down or get ready to hang on to something. I think legally you're supposed to sit down, but you hear that, you're like, okay, boat's moving. There's like no warning. And the boat just started moving like, whoa. And it was silent. The only thing you hear is like the cooling pump and the transmission just going, that was wild. So then when I went and got in the water, like the boat just started pulling away without making any noise. And there wasn't that blah, 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 like that we're all used to. Like, I was like, this is weird. So there's like all these weird things. Lastly, the pull, the torque, everything felt the same. Couldn't really tell the difference. Um, but the big difference was when I was in the boat and my buddy Jeff was out surfing and I was talking to him at this volume. Like we had a conversation. The loudest thing out there was the water crumbling on itself. That was like, you're like, whoa, that water is actually making quite a bit of noise compared to the boat. So yeah. Um, have I ever ridden a checkmate boat? I have not. Isn't that like a cigarette boat? I don't know. Um, Arcade Riot 91. You're saying you would think that every book company would want you to come check their stuff out as long as they believe in it. I hope so. I hope so. And I hope they realize that I'm just an honest person, a dad, a husband that is trying to have fun with his family and his friends. And like, that's what I'm looking to do here. And so if they do believe in it, like, let me check it out and I will tell people about it. So yes, that's what I'm looking for. Adam Hetrick, I don't think I'm gonna be at Masters this year. That's normally like part of like the deal that I do with them. Um, so uh, Amsterdam Water Sports. Always love your content. If you're ever in Amsterdam, I'd love to come visit our Amsterdam Water Sports. Maybe you can book some lessons from you then. Hey, I don't travel as much internationally, but I do. I've traveled the whole world since I was a kid. I've been to Amsterdam, I've been to Egypt, Australia, and Israel. I rode on the Sea of Galilee. That was amazing. But if anybody wants to connect with me, you can go to my website, ShaunMurray.com, and click coach. And you can see the details about bringing me to where you are. And it will reach out to an email to us, and then we can try to get in touch with you, see if it lines up with dates that you have and that we have. So that can maybe work all the way over in Amsterdam. Diesel wake boats. I loved it. It was actually, I asked for one, but it's such an expensive upgrade that they wouldn't do it. And I understand, but the power felt the same. It wasn't this loud, obnoxious, smoky experience that people think. It sounded different, and the only difference that I felt, and people are like, "Oh, I can't handle this," is the spool up. So if you take the throttle on a gas engine, you feel it, but if you take the throttle and you smash it, there's a big delay. But I found, because I drove it quite a bit, I found that if you just slowly, it just gave you nice even power. So I would almost guarantee that if you had a G, um, maybe the ZZ8S, like the big one, and you put it side by side, I think that it like the ZZ8S is probably going to run a bit faster, especially out of the gate. But once you're going, I don't think it's going to be much of a difference. But the fuel burn is astronomically different. Like I found it way different. So legit, like that was pretty pretty substantial. That's me just being honest. Like I wanted it for the fuel burn. With the reviews, it'd be awesome to hear them from a few different owner personas: the wakeboard shredder, the family crew, the amenity driven buyer. So my plan is to include not just me, but my family. Carrie, my wife, drives the boat. She can back in a trailer. She can. My daughters drive the boat. Everybody rides. Like we have like pretty much the full gamut of the experience. So we want to bring that whole experience into some of these. So that is definitely something on my mind. Anyone working on a hybrid boat gas engine with electric motor on the property? On the prop. I don't know. Maybe. I think so. Am I going to land a flip on the foil? Kurt, man, the last one that I got around, like I was finally like getting around, the board broke in half. I was doing it on a prototype board. I was like, wah, wah. And then I only have one of this other one. I'm like, I don't want to break it. And I just haven't gone back into those, but yes, I want to. I've never snowboarded in Switzerland. No, I've not. And so, oh yeah, John Lipscomb, Anne's Angels. Awesome what you guys are doing with adaptive people behind the boat and awesome board and ski collection. Um, Man, anytime. Yeah, if I can fit you all, if I'm home and I'm around, absolutely want to connect with you guys. So it's a great time. So, Kurt Brown, looking for more foil content in your new gig. Need more foil content. There isn't much. Um, yeah, I want to, and that's the crazy thing is it's at such the beginning of the sport, and I definitely have that in these note cards. Um, there's a lot of different things in foiling, and one of the things you can do if you're here's something for people who have started to foil and they're like, I'm having a hard time staying in the wave. Get in the boat, watch somebody else foil, and when you see them foiling, look at the actual wave and how much that wave number one wraps out behind them and is still a mound of water out there. And the way that I explain to find the power, the most people are doing what I call duck diving under the power. And what I mean by that is when you go to the beach, if you're riding at the beach and you see how much of a difference it makes if you take even a small wave to the chest, boom, it'll take you off your feet, even if it's like not even head high. That's a lot of energy. But if you go out into waves that are well overhead and you simply swim under them, even though they're more power, if you just get underneath them, it doesn't have nearly the same amount of energy. Most people, when they're learning to foil, they have the wing duck diving under the power. They're at the very bottom of the cylinder of water. It's a cylinder that's rolling through the water. And so when you're doing that, you are actually just touching that little bit. Like if you didn't swim enough under the wave as you're swimming underneath it, it's like where you feel it kind of tickling your back. That's where most people are actually putting the wing. So you physically just get it up into it. The reason I think most people do that is because of the perspective, that proprioception of where we stand on a wake surfer. This is where I stand in the power. But if you just get yourself up onto it, it's a different, you go, whoa, this is so much energy, and you realize you can fade way back. So that's one of the first things that I'd really like to start showing is where that power is and how to understand it. Um, but I need to get a boat. I've got some boats I can borrow, but that's something. So yeah, more foil content. And tell little Boomer to put down his phone and surf with his dad. Right? Right, kids? That's also like here's the interesting thing, and I mean, if the robots are listening right now, like I want to create content that inspires you to put down the device. Like maybe I probably shouldn't say that to like the algorithm or whatever, but my goal like is to get out and do things. And I know the benefit of that because like it's fun. It's fun. Like I love doing this, but there's a point where it's like, all right, I need to go and physically do something myself. And so much of our world is setting us to be consumers. But I really think that we need to be more creators. And I don't mean like content creators necessarily. I mean creators of activity, creators of skills, creators of knowledge, creators of fun moments. And most of the time, we're watching other people's fun moments like through other things. So I want to create the content that you go, that I want to go out and do that thing. I want to take that challenge or I want to create my own challenge. And that inspired me to do something. So that is my goal is to, like Boomer said, put down the phone and serve with his dad. Yeah. Same conversations in my house, but it can go to me too. Be like, all right, I got to like check out, stop editing. I do edit my videos and I really enjoy it. And I do it alongside with Tim McGee. Um, but there's a time for us to walk away from the screens and go be active. So that's why like I'm here. That is one of my biggest goals. Um, so it would be great hooking up with the S2S salute to service this Centurion does. I'm down with that. Um, and just got your new 2025 Murray Ryan J with Team X bindings today. Can't wait to get on the water gun. That's awesome, bro. That's awesome. Have you ridden here in Argentina? I haven't. I have not really been below. I've traveled to like the world, but I've not really done much of South America outside of Colombia. We were just in Costa Rica a couple weeks ago, but have not done that. And I absolutely know Gabriela Diaz. She's a very good friend of mine. Buena amiga. You rode behind my first boat I bought in 18 here in Northeast Indiana. This is from Ding Dong. A green 72 correct craft skier at White Lake. We actually camped on Lake Whippoorwill and went to MMI. That boat was on your lake. That's okay. 2018. Was that when I did? No, or did I do that when I set the record at White Lake? I think I remember that. Absolutely. Before you rode behind at White Lake. Yep. So I appreciate your faith. Clark makes me want to go out and see the world God created for us to enjoy. I tell you what, yeah, I'm not ashamed. Like these days, people will say so many different offensive things. And if you say Jesus, they get uncomfortable. And it's not to like push my faith on anyone. It's just say, like, if you want to know my faith, I'll share it. But I'll tell you, once I struggle with that, like the existence of like I grew up in church, and I got to a point where I started to mess with my head and like struggle with the existence of God. And eventually, like I just had this moment where I was like seeing through creation, like He exists, and this is not me convincing you. This is me, like in my head. He exists and He is real. And if He has a plan, well, why don't I kind of start to really just lean into that more? And when I did that, perspective change. So every morning I start my day over it there reading my Bible. And yeah, there's reading glasses there. Oh man. I don't have to wear them, but it's definitely more comfortable wearing them. We used to have to say in skydiving, if riding a plane is flying, riding in a boat is swimming. If you want to experience the element, get out of the vehicle, get outside and enjoy the world. Absolutely. Right? Right. And there's those times where like you see a beautiful sunset and you're like, oh, I want to take a picture with my phone. And they turn out great. Like you get some really nice, beautiful screensavers. But man, we've got these eyes that see way better than like 4K. And you just enjoy it, right? Just enjoy the moment. Yes, Andrew, getting out on the water is such a good time. It is like therapy sometimes, just going and carving on the water. And yes, Nathan, up in Wisconsin, they're banning wake boats and surfing. How can we stop this? Um, it's kind of like a bummer because I do know that like the boat waves are substantially bigger. Um, but I did a study on my lake. I put a camera up and let it run for a while when a storm came through, just like nothing crazy. But just the white capping waves, boom, boom, and the frequency and the intensity. It was massive. And then I did it as a boat was wake surfing for the day. And it was nothing in comparison. So I believe it's the WSIA is the one who is really leading the charge on this, and they have videos and studies like this saying, look, like the destruction that acts of nature are creating are way more than these wake boats. It's just they can't go and talk about they can't shut nature down at a town hall meeting, but they can go and stop these boats. So I think it's yeah, are those waves causing their boats to get moved around potentially where it's they should have them tied up properly or on a like if I leave my boat out at the end of the dock, that is my responsibility, not somebody else's. Like they say it's you're responsible for your own wakes, but it's also my responsibility as a boat owner to put my boat into a safe situation. So yes, those boats and things like that can cause people some frustrations, but um, I think there's things we can do. I don't think that the boats are necessarily causing the damage. Maybe they're annoying. And so as boaters, what I would say is these three things that WSIA is promoting. Number one, don't run the same line repetitively over and over and over. If you can go to a different part of your lake, go there sometimes, even if the water's not great. Just maybe sometimes give them a break. Also, don't be the guy just blasting your stereo. Like if you want to be out there and listen to it and you can hear it clearly, well, water travels across sound really well. And I know you spent a ton of money on the sound system and you want to get your jam on, but I would say like just be considerate. If that annoys you that I say that, I'm sorry. But I know it feels awesome to be out there listening to music and stuff like that. but maybe not everybody wants to hear it. So just to be considerate. The other thing is stay 200, some states, I think 300 feet away from other boats, docks, shorelines, things like that. Give them space. So those three things. And now that you're independent, is judging at the WWA competitions rigged? No, they're not. I have avoided judging, but I can tell you that I know that those guys in there they're really trying to do their best, and they will take a while to talk through things, and um, they take everyone's perspective, and they generally land on the same thing. And if they don't, I've seen some guys say I didn't agree with them, and I stuck to my guns. So no, it's not. They're definitely not doing it. Those judges are not doing it according to like, well, this is a Natiq event, so we better make sure that Corey Tunison wins. No, look at like I think Mossy won the last two Masters. Like, no, that's funny. Um, Matt Stone, hey, stoked for that you've been uh, wakeboarding since 2002. That is awesome. And you have a 2011 210 in great condition. That's what I'm talking about. Things over 10 years old. Some people are like, oh, that's not a good boat. That's a great boat. If it's in good condition and it runs, it's reliable. So much fun to be had. Andrew Downey, you should take Pat out and foil. Or maybe he wants to go out and foil with me. Absolutely. Let's go, Pat. Like Pat's a great dude, good friend. I'm down. Bring it on. If you're coming with Pat, let's go. Let's foil. Yeah. So if you're just checking in here, we can wrap this up. If you guys have more questions, feel free. But I'll just kind of give you a summary. So I did make the decision to step away from Natiq as an exclusive boat rider, meaning I'm no longer a contracted athlete. I'm no longer under contract with them. And what that means is I'm not looking to go to another boat brand. I am looking to stay independent so that I can bring you guys reviews and how-tos from anything that you can ride behind. One of the reasons, not the only reason, one of the reasons that I've made this decision is because the boat prices have gotten pretty high. And while I was very grateful for my boat and it worked wonderfully, like it was awesome, and is an amazing experience. Like Natiq has nailed it with the experience, and but there's a bunch of other boats out there. But if you can't afford that, I also want to give other companies an opportunity for you to see them if you follow me or you want to see what I think of them. So I want to give honest reviews of what those look like, and how they function. What that will look like for you is what I'm talking about. And so that's my goal. So Clark, what do I have to say to my dad to convince him to get me a Pro 2025 Shaun Murray board? I don't know. I'm not sure. If you're looking for a board, that's a good one to get. Hyperlight. Well, here's the pitch. If you're looking to get a board, I really try to make the boards work well hydrodynamically, meaning that they interact with the water well. So it doesn't matter what level rider you are. We're all standing on water. We all want to ride around. We all want to carve around. I think we all want to slide the board sometimes. It's not just about jumping in the air. Sometimes you want to release the fin. Sometimes you want the board to track well. Sometimes you want big air, but we always want smooth landings. So with all of those things, between a board that will stay fun and playful and free on the water when you want it to, I create that spoon belly landing feeling, or the spoon bottom, which gives you smooth landings, buttery feel when you're sliding around. So you'll see that I spend almost just as much time on the water as I do in the air. So if you're looking for a really user-friendly board, it doesn't matter your level, check it out. The big air comes from surface area and the rocker that gets a little bit increased as you get outside your feet. There's some other things in there, but yeah, that's why I like to ride it. So, yep. Hit up Wake Makers. They attempted some sweet intro wake boat build series, but didn't get the views. Okay. Uh, I know you say you have private coaching, but do you plan on a calendar date with certain states with signups? Um, I don't have that. So 99Z28, that's your handle. I don't have any kind of specific calendar where I'm like, hey, I'm going to be in this area. Maybe that starts to happen. But right now, what I'm telling people is that if you guys want to try to connect with me, you can go to my website, um, and it's shaunmurray.com. Click coach. You can see the details there. If you want to try to book me to come out to your location, I can do that. And we're getting people inquiring already. And so what we're doing is we're trying to see geographically, where does it make sense for me to go around to see if I can be efficient going from one place to the next. Um, Sometimes a dealer will bring me out. So if you have a dealer in the area, you're like, hey, bring out Shaun Murray to the whatever event we do. See if they can do that, and then they can create sign up spots. The only thing that I get cautious about those kind of things is sometimes they try to jam too many people into there. And I don't mind having a lot of people ride. It's just then the rides become really short. And it becomes more just about that you did it rather than like, what did you accomplish, which is all still good. But I also do an event with some friends. We do a Can You Ride It party out at the Coopers. That is always fun. And what we do there is just people show up with things that, like, can't you get up on these pool noodles in a PVC frame? That I was like, I don't think that can happen. And she totally rode it. That's what I'm talking about. Fun on the water. That's what this is about. That's why I'm doing this, is going, look, there are all sorts of different budgets and brands and things out there, and I want to experience it. So I'm taking a leap. This is a leap. But I'm excited. And if it doesn't pan out, then all right. But so far things are looking okay. And but I'll tell you what, I'm trusting God. He's taken me this far. And let's see where this next adventure goes. Hopefully I'm making the right choice. Mr. Rogers, thank you for the help videos. It helped me get my girls up riding. I love to hear that. And Clark, hey, yeah, if you hopefully that was um, a good pitch for you, so that maybe you can take that to your dad and get a Murray. Tell me your stats. I'll tell you the right size. If people want to put in some stats, you're questioning, or if you don't know what size board, I'll tell you. And I have this chart that I've created, that I want to put eventually, that I'll put up on my website. Like, here is the height and weight. But the thing is, it's tough because you can't go just by height. You can't go just by weight. But I have an idea, but it just goes up. It's this bar graph kind of thing. Yeah, I'll show that to you guys. Ding dong. I will most likely not really be coaching it out at OWC. We might do some special events and things like that. Love the place. It's awesome how they have it set up. And I love taking laps on the cable. But coaching behind the boat there, probably not going to happen. But never say never. Who knows? Who knows? But they do not have any dates there. I've not been able to give them any dates yet, but I am going to the Spokane Boat Show. If you didn't hear yet, I'm going to be there January 24th in the evening and the 25th, 26th. And I'll be at the Salt Lake City Boat Show the 30th through February 2nd. But we are hitting up on the mountain, going up there to Salt Lake City. We might go to Solitude, Brighton, Snowbird, somewhere like one of those up that canyon. So we're still trying to get the details ironed out of that. And Chris Farr, what's up, homie? And so Zach, just want to say hello. I've been watching you since the detention series. Wow. So I learned a lot from you. Hey, some weekend Wally stuff, right? Any boarding school coaching now that you could? I don't know. I haven't talked to Travis about that. I'll hope to at least just take some laps out there. Not sure. But yeah, that's always a good time out there. All right. Well, gosh, this has been awesome. Really looking forward to seeing what the year has in store. And yeah, if you guys, maybe I should come in here and check in more often, answer some questions for you guys if you want to throw some things out there. And I just saw these come in. 5'7", 200 pounds, 46-year-old Heaven Murray, 23, 144. Seems big sometimes. What you think? Nope, you're fine. I'm 5'6", about like just shy 150. I'm 48. I ride my 39, but sometimes my 144, and that was one of the last boards that I rode. Um, I really feel like when you go bigger, it just keeps you up out of the water more. It's more stable. It gives you more to jump off of. If it feels like it's too big to move around, I'd work on technique maybe a little bit. Sometimes people like it. I don't know if I still have that. Well, eh, no, I don't think it's I don't think it's too big for you at all. No. And Clark, 6 foot, 145 pounds. I've always been riding a 139. A 6 foot tall, 139, too small. The area, the surface area from your back binding to the tail of the board. If you're 6 foot, like you should not be riding narrow stance. I don't think so. I'd have to see you, unless you're like crazy long torso and short legs, but most likely you're pretty long legs. So I would say that your middle stance on your board, if not all the way out wide, so that you feel comfortable with your height. And so it's what you're looking for. The bigger board not only gives you all around more surface area, but the distance from your back foot to the tail edge of the board. That's where you're going to find a lot of stability and power. So when you're coming off the water, imagine if you just cut it off at the back of the binding, like you just ended the board there. There would really not be much for you. Like you get pushed underneath you, but there's not much to ride up off of. And when you land, if there's not much tail, when you land, if you're going back towards the tail, imagine if you cut that tail off again, you will literally just fall. There's nothing to catch you there. You'd have to land super perfect on it. Can you do it? Yes, it's called wake skating. But if you land with your back foot, the weight back there, it throws you out. And so it's a different technique. If you want to ride a small board, you absolutely can. But people think that when you get onto the bigger boards, well, I can move the board around more. As long as you're not going drastically bigger. At 6 foot, you could be riding a 150. So like at least a 144. I understand like at 6 foot, 145 pounds, you're thinner. But I would at least put you on a 144. It's going to give you that surface area, the leverage. There's also something to be said that the distance from your front foot to the nose of the board allows you to ride up the wake with more forgiveness. If you get rid of that nose, there's not as much forgiveness. You can plow through it if you're leaning ahead of the line at all. Vincent. So yeah, Clark, at least a 145. Are you ever going to do a video on how to take off from a dock that is 3 foot above the water? That's a pretty high jump. I definitely have done some, man, back in the day, old video VHS, The Boarding School was the video name. I went off a bridge and I don't think I made it. I think we like tricked it, but that felt like a ton of bricks. 3 foot dock start. Will I do a video on that? I don't know. I don't know. Man, if you throw, so here's one of the best ways. If you want to see me like put it into my list of cards, here's my note cards if you didn't see these yet. There's a lot of things here. These are all my ideas. And the way I get them is when I'm coaching people, I'm like, oh, that's how I can convey that message. That's where a lot of the videos I create come from. The other way is that you guys will send in questions and comments and I'll go, oh, I'll do that. So Vincent, if you go to one of my videos, you could really go to any of them, but it would make most sense if you did it on one of like how to get up on a wakeboard or something like that. And you put it in there and put that comment in there. I can add it to the notes. Cool. Clark, I'm top G. What's up? That's very kind of you. Dock start. It's called Show Skiing Anne's Angels. Yep. The dock start, the multi-person dock start. I used to be part of that. I did grow up show skiing as a kid, and I would be in the line where it's like, all right, everybody's got to make this. And I would do the barefoot line. Don't screw up the dock start. And so number one, you got to learn how to coil a rope. So yes, I am pretty picky about how people coil ropes. But then you got to nail that start. So I still love a good dock start. Man, I'll get a slalom ski out. Let's little hop dock, little one-footed hop dock. It's a good time. Ben Parrish would love to see a best used boat per X dollar amount, 15,000, 25,000, 40,000. That's yes, absolutely. That's something I hope I get to do. And So we'll kind of see where things go with these different boat companies, and then for me to figure out how to um, take the time and um, put those kind of things together to give you guys like a good idea of no matter the budget, that's going to work for me. So yes, I love that idea, and I hope I can make that work. Um, Powell Skiba, how was your experience foiling the ocean? How good do you have to be to get behind a boat before you can foil in the ocean? Excited to see if you ever ocean foil again. So it's a great question. Foiling before you go to the ocean, foiling on the lake absolutely is helpful because the ocean has so much just energy just constantly moving. And so when you're on a wing, you feel that. So you want to be able to get around behind the boat where you can move from one kind of wave to the next. You don't have to. You can absolutely just not know how to pump and still get towed into a wave. And backcountry foiling is who I went down with those guys down in Costa Rica. Um, and they can put people on waves, but you want to have your feet underneath you. So I would put a season, or at least like depending on how often you get out there, like a good dozen times where you're like, okay, I can move around. Get on a long line, 75-foot line as well as a short line. Learn how to get up quick, get up like in an instant because it's not like you have a ton of time when you're stuck inside a wave. Sometimes they got to get you out of there pretty quickly. It's not to freak you out, but to say like you want to be pretty proficient on it, but you don't have to be a super high level. I don't know when the next time I'm going to do it, but man, I want to get going. I'm waiting for my wave runner to get repaired right now. I purchased a used one a while ago and got damaged, and so we're just getting it back up and running. Um, when does your new boat hit the boat lift? So Ryan Parsley, so I don't know if this is what you're asking, but I'm going to answer this in case people just tuned in. I'm no longer a non-exclusive content creator with Natiq. I was with them for 25 years, and I'm not going to another boat company. I'm not looking to sign a contract with another boat company. It's not like I'm like, ooh, I want to go to another boat company. The reason I stepped away, there's a lot of different reasons, but one of the biggest reasons for me was because I want to be able to show people that there are so many different ways to get on the water, no matter the budget. And there's so many different products that people can use. There's so many different experiences and dealerships and locations. And so I enjoy creating content, and I enjoy creating things that encourage people to be active. And if you didn't hear me say it earlier, I'll say it again is like, I want you to eventually put the screen down. I eventually need to make that conscious effort in my life and in my home to say, all right, that's enough of the screen. Let's go be active. And so I want to create the content that inspires that. And getting out on the water, there's pretty much nothing on this planet that compares to being out on the water. I love snowboarding. I love skateboarding. I mean, surfing is being out on the water. But I love motocross and BMX and all these things, uh, all sorts of games and sports. But being on the water is pretty unique. And so I encourage people to check out that environment. Um, and there are different products that can connect you to those things. And so what I want to do is connect people with those experiences. So whether it's the dealership you're going to get your boat from, or is the thing you're going to put on the side of your boat to create a wave, or the the bags that go in the boat to make the wave, or the cleaning products, or whatever it is, like I want to take my content creation and let that be more of my living so that I can connect you guys with the products. I get to make a living and you guys get to have fun, and we're all staying active. So it's a win-win. So like that's what I'm hoping to do. Hopefully it works out. If it doesn't, well then I'll go maybe get a job at Lowe's or something. But I like construction. So um so I don't know when I'm gonna have so any boat company, a new boat, I'm not gonna have a specific boat sitting there. I don't think so. That's not really the plan. What I'm looking for is sitting in my lift will be a boat for a week or two or a month that they're like, hey, check our boat out for a while. Let us know what you think. We work out the deals, the details of what that looks like for us to do business in that way. But I want to keep it in a reasonable way that people want to do it, and it works out well for everyone so that you guys go, oh yeah, that's the boat I want to get, or no, I don't want to get that boat. So that's my goal. But no, I don't want to take any boat company and be like and badmouth them, but I want to be honest. And that by being non-exclusive, I get to be honest. And if they don't like what I have to say, well, that stinks. But I want to be honest. Um, but I'll hopefully let the other boat companies know, like, all right, let's make our product well, and let's have Shaun check it out. Um, so Vincent, you discussed I want to do a bunch of different how to dock start on different things. I also want to show like the different line tensions depending on how high you tie your rope. If you're tied high, is it easier getting up on a wakeboard than if you're tied really low off the back of like a fishing boat? Um, I want to show like those different things and why does it make a difference? Does it make a difference? Um, and Rich, cable park how-tos? Yeah, absolutely. Why not? Why not? Especially if you're a cable park in some other part of the country or the world and you want me to go out there. If you want me to go there, awesome. You can go and check out my coaching page. Like that's what it would cost to bring me out there. If you guys want me to go there and create content at your location, um, can do that. So yes, absolutely. So there could be cable stuff. Boat is kind of like that's my main thing, but I like to take laps on cable. I'm not the best cable rider, but I can smile while I'm riding around it. Yes, and Jonathan Herbster, you're absolutely right. That dock starts generally are not a legal thing. Um, so depending on the setting, um, yeah, that is that is something to consider. So Lang Gang, tell you what, Knip Knop. That is a fun game. If y'all don't know what that game is, I should probably create a how-to on that game because that is one of the most fun ping pong games. Can get wild. So yeah. Boat shows this year. Absolutely. I'm going to. I've been on here for an hour. I should probably wrap this up, but let me tell you a couple things. I'm going to be at the Spokane Boat Show January 24th in the evening. I'll be there on the 25th and the 26th. I'm going to head to the Salt Lake Boat Show. I'll be there the 30th, 31st, the 1st and the 2nd of February. But I won't be there until the evening and the afternoon of the 30th and the 31st at the Salt Lake Show. But I'm going there for Natiq, but I could go there for any boat brand. It's just I had already committed to going those things. And when I made that decision, I contacted them, said, hey, here's what's happening. Do you want me to still go? They both said, yeah, come on out. So I'm going there and I know a lot about those boats. So like I said, I want to connect people with good times. And we'll be there at the Salt Lake Show. But okay, these came out earlier. This is the original VHS detention. This was the first instruction. I actually learned how to edit on this, and I learned that I really enjoyed editing. This is back in 1998. This content eventually, this is around when DVDs came out. So you can probably Google like when did DVDs come out? It's probably around here because we took that content and put it onto here. And then I saw that years later, and we created this Detention 2012. And it was this 3-disc set, green being the easy, blue intermediate, black advanced. A lot of content on these things. And so the reason I say it is those went really well. We eventually turned the Detention 2012, which was named way before 2012. And it seemed like that was going to be way in the future. But here we are 13 years past it. But we created it and it eventually turned it into an app. And the app was awesome, but it was so much content, it kept crashing. So we paid an entire new company developer to create another app. We put that out there. It actually ended up giving us so many problems that we just had to shut it down. My wife is literally juicing right now. I can hear the blender going. I don't know if you can hear it. That's why I stopped talking. So it started crashing, and I said, you know what? My business partner, really good friend, Scott, out in California, I said, you know what? We had an awesome run with this. So many people gave us great feedback all around the world. Let's shut it down. And I said, Scott, I'm going to put this up on YouTube. And so I took a bunch of this content and I was like, I need somewhere to park it. So YouTube seemed like it made sense. And it was around the time that I was like, you know what? I enjoy editing. Instagram just started putting videos to 15 seconds. And then they went to 60 seconds. And I was like, man, I'm getting back into the editing game. I had been taking our family videos of our kids, like Hayden when she was 1, she's now 16. I was like creating home videos and I was starting to edit more. And this whole Instagram and detention was getting launched up there. And so I started putting things onto YouTube. But I really was being intentional to say, look, I'm not a YouTuber. Like I'm a professional wakeboarder. I coach. I was still like kind of competing at the time. But I was like, I'm really liking this content creation. So I started doing it more. And then eventually I was like, okay, I think I can do this about like like maybe once a month or whatever. It was kind of like sporadic. And then I said, okay, I'm doing it once a week. And on my channel, you can see like it says videos every week. And I really try to hit that. My travel schedule can get kind of crazy sometimes. And so I give myself grace on that. And so then I try to make up for it by putting multiple videos out in a week. Sometimes you'll see me dump a few, or I'm like, okay, I'm making up for it. But it's gotten to the point where I'm like, I really enjoy doing this. I enjoy creating the reviews of things, and I can see that there's a need for people that need somebody with knowledge and an unbiased opinion to create the content of what's out there. And so I'm like, I think that could be me. And so I started really just thinking in that lane. Um, so that's why I made this decision to step away from Natiq and give you guys a bigger, broader picture of what's out there. And I'm looking forward to it. We'll see. You want to know something that's out there? Okay, this is personal, but I think you might like it. Okay, why would I bring a book out? Well, because it's actually written by my dad. Okay. And the reason I grabbed this, it was on the shelf next to these things. That's where it belongs, right? Like, so this is a book written by my dad. He's a pilot for TWA. If you remember the airline TWA back in the day, he was a captain for them, did a bunch of training, and he wrote a book, a bunch of true stories and jokes. You want to blow his mind. I said this on Instagram, and man, if one person from that goes and buys his book, that will just absolutely make his day. And hopefully he's not watching this right now, because I would love for it to be a surprise. So if you go to lloydmurray.com, LLOYD, lloydmurray.com, I'm gonna put it in the chat. Not that one. It's gonna populate my okay, lloydmurray.com. Okay. And he's got his book on there. It's like $10 and like a couple bucks to ship it. Like, and then you'll have my dad's book. And you know what? If you buy it, both of us will sign it. Yeah, maybe if one book sells on here, that's awesome. And no pressure, no pressure. But to make my dad, that would be so cool. Man, so that would be really cool. Oh, there's a bunch of questions. Okay. Are you going to the boat shows? So I'm signed with Hyperlight and Jet Pilot. Yep. Hyperlight since 95, Jet Pilot since 96. And so Andrew, son, setting a 25-year relation of a brave and huge leap of faith. I hope you find the freedom and non-exclusivity far more rewarding than any contract. I hope so. It was tough. That they so many there are like family to me and still are. And I wrote them a letter, and I literally got emotional doing it and having conversations. So yeah, it wasn't easy, but it was something I decided, like, if I don't do this, it's going to be more uncomfortable for me. So this is as uncomfortable this is more comfortable for me, if that says anything. Love watching you. I bored a little myself and was wondering what your favorite trick is. Grant Hess, my favorite trick is the one I just landed. You know what I'm saying? Because like there's different moments for different tricks, different days. Like sometimes it's like, I want to go crank a toe side 900. When I make that, that's awesome. Sometimes I just want the floaty feeling of a backside 180. Sometimes a glassy tumble turn. Sometimes a big old railie that just sets down more gentle than others. Like it just depends. Oh, Tom McClanahan getting the book. That is, thank you. Thank you, my friend. That is awesome. Idaho Clay, peace be with you, my man. Tell you what, I'm excited about where this is going to go. This went way longer, but I can obviously sit on here. So maybe we'll do this more frequently. If you guys truly have questions or comments, go put those into videos, whether it's here or elsewhere. Actually, I don't know if it'll pop up as on things here on the, go into another video or comment below on this. I don't know how the live stream works. I'm working on that one. But I'm going to just be honest with you. I'm going to be honest. And that is all I can do. And now I get to really hopefully show you guys truly what's out there. And I hopefully have the opportunity. So if you guys have any questions or comments, you guys can do that below. If you want to reach out about coaching, you can go to my website, shaunmurray.com, click coach. If you know of some boat companies or things that you think I should check out, let me know. And I'm waiting for those to come in, which is already happening. Like it's pretty awesome. No joke. It's exciting. I can't share too many things just yet, but Matt Maxwell, met in South Carolina when I was on a business trip. I was overexcited, fan, didn't believe it was you. Do you have plans to demo new boat brands in the future? Matt, did you just check in? Or if you just came in here, I'll give the pitch one more time. So I decided to step away from being from being an exclusive athlete with Natiq, but I'm not looking to go to another boat company. I had a 25-year relationship with them, but as boat prices went up, they make amazing boats, and I can't say that they are. Somebody said they're overpriced. I can't make that judgment because I don't know what it costs to make them. That's not what I do. I can say they cost a lot, and not everyone can afford that kind of experience to get out on the water. And I want to hopefully share that what those experiences are. Different boat companies, maybe even used boats. So there's different ways that I'm thinking about going about this business wise, but ultimately to give you guys honest reviews of what's out there, no matter the budget. And so that's my goal. Yeah, that's what I'm looking to do. The Mr. ACD got into wakeboarding and I helped you, man. I appreciate that. And you went to ski shows. Water ski shows is where I fell in love with water skiing as well. And thank you for the positive feedback. So, hey, Clark, VIP, everybody else out there, I appreciate you coming here, man. And you guys, like, for real, it's my dad's book. That's awesome. I think it's great. It's gonna stay on my shelf. Maybe you get one too. That wasn't on the agenda, but I just grabbed these videos, my throwback content, my first content creation back in the day, and the book sits right next to them. So that's awesome. You go to lloydmurray.com, buy a book. That I'll sign it. He'll sign it. That'd be great. So Matt, thank you. Yeah, the Natiq boats, they are amazing. They're super nice. Like, the guys there, they've done such an amazing job. But I also know there's other things out there. There's different prices, there's different experiences, and I want to check it out. So tell you what, let's see how she goes. Man, thank you guys. Question, comments, you guys can put those below. If you don't subscribe to my channel, you don't have to. You can, and it's always appreciated. And you can also hit notifications so you know when things like this are happening. And if you guys want to give me different ideas or questions or whatever, go to some of the videos. I think you might be able to put that in here afterward. But do that. I check them often, and it's where my ideas come from. Matt Maxwell, some of the other people saw it. This is my stack of note cards. This is where I scribble things really fast as I'm like trying to keep up and different ideas. So yes, I'm doing that. So yep. All right. All right. Thank you, Derek. Thank you, Jonathan. Everyone in here, Lang, the Lang gang, Andrew, and Grant, Vincent, everybody. Man, thank you guys so much. No matter what you're doing, always enjoy your ride. Oh, wait, always appreciate it when you like and share. Like, for real. If you go, when we're done with this, if you just go, hey, check this out. Here's what this guy just did. You can do that. But then after that, be like, oh yeah, and let's get off our devices. Let's go do things outside. Peace.